everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I got a little cold because somebody in one of my classes coughed all over me. Okay, so today I thought it would be fun to do a little extra Q&A because I obviously didn't make a new video for Friday because it is currently Friday morning and I have nothing to show for it. Would you ever go back to Scotland? Would I ever go back to Scotland? Yes. 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 Nostalgia from study abroad. Nostalgia from study abroad every day. If I have it? Yes. What is my nostalgia? I don't know, I have pictures up and they make me really happy. I have fond memories of just I don't know, just feeling free and doing kind of crazy stuff that maybe I wouldn't, not crazy, because I'm the most tame person, but I just think I had such nice memories from last year where I don't know, I just feel I didn't have anything figured out last year, and that's a really scary feeling. But when you're in a place for 1 year, you're just I don't really care, I'm just gonna do me, and if an opportunity comes up to go do something, yeah, I'll go do it. And that was kind of my attitude. Also, it was COVID was sort of just ending and I was kind of timid at the beginning, but then second semester I was just doing more stuff. But I have so much nostalgia, oh my gosh. Yeah, and I can't wait to go back and visit. That'll be so fun. Okay, how has your life plans changed after your exchange experience? That's a really great question. So I am the type of person, 5 years out, I have a sort of vision for my life. And I have always kind of been like this. When I chose my college, I chose it and I was no, I'm going there. I'm going to college Charleston. I probably when I was a sophomore and I knew what I wanted to study, or maybe I was a junior, I think, because that was after college visits. When I was a junior, I was this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm gonna study. I sort of also knew that I wanted to do YouTube, but I hadn't really verbalized that yet. I had very clear visions of my future that I just sort of kept to myself. Before I was studying abroad, probably my sophomore year, I had heard about people going abroad for grad school, and that was something that was really kind of intriguing to me after I had sort of tested the waters of moving away from home. Because I really love my parents and where I'm from and my family. I'm really close with all of them, so that is a really big factor for me when I go away. That's something that's still really hard to deal with. Even though that stuff does get better with time, I think. And you really realize that quality time is just as important as building in quality time with people is just as important as living in close proximity with them. I think that that's something that moving away has kind of taught me, is that if I can build in quality time with my family, what was this question? What am I talking about? Okay, but if you can build in quality time with your family and loved ones, your relationships will not falter. If that person is really someone you love in your life, that is just something that doesn't go away. So, okay, the question was, how have your life plans changed after your exchange experience? So I think I had this idea of grad school going abroad, and I was oh, I could definitely do that, but I feel honestly, this is kind of a big reason as to why I studied abroad for a year. I was can I do that? I don't know. So also, I just kind of wanted to go for a year if I could. I was I really wanted just go and just have this experience, and I didn't really have that much thought behind it, except I was oh, maybe kind of testing the waters with grad school. I would say I look back at my journal from last year, and there were a couple of months in October I was I can't do this actually, I really can't. I don't think that I can be this far from my family. I think it was really a lot to adjust to when you go abroad. You have a lot of feelings of okay, well, I actually really do like this about where I'm from, or I like the idea of fitting in. And then the further I got into my experience, the further I was immersed in the culture, the more I just really fell in love with life, if that makes any sense. It was just there's something so exciting about not being within the confines of your own culture. It's you don't even know what to say, so it's you just become this version of yourself where it's oh, I just I don't know, this is me, this is what you got. I don't know if that makes any sense. I really I fell in love with that feeling, and I think that that's a feeling that maybe, I don't know, if you should always move to other countries if you're feeling stuck. But I don't think that's what I'm doing. Like, I just really enjoyed my time. I flip-flopped a lot while I was there, but at the end, like, I maybe think back. We'll see. Do you have a boyfriend? Do you have? I'm just kidding. No. What was your favorite coffee shop in Edinburgh? Did you ever feel overwhelmed or second guessed yourself a lot when you went to Edinburgh? Only all the time. Yeah, I would say literally all the time. And I think that that's like, I don't want to scare people away from studying abroad, but like, I feel like that's like a huge part of it, other than just like going and having fun. Like, there was not a day, I think, that I went without like second guessing a lot of things about myself, my life, American culture, like how I like identified with that. I think that it really changes your view on America and what that means and like how much that you should know about your country, because like I was thinking about this. People would ask me to like describe our political system, and like I think I'm like pretty smart, but then like you start to be like, well, maybe I shouldn't be answering this question. Maybe I shouldn't. You just need to become an ambassador for America. And I'm like, do I actually know anything about America? Yes, I do. However, yeah, I don't know if I should be the spokesperson for it. And like, honestly, even with a cold, like before I went to study abroad, I think that I would have this is like a good example. Like, honestly, I was not feeling good in the beginning of this week. Like, I had a really bad cold, and normally I think I would just try to like push through. I remember I had a cold, last time I had a cold was 2019, and I worked a 4-day weekend on a production set crew through my cold, and then I also had regular work that weekend as well. And like, I'm not saying that like I don't work through a cold, because like I have work here, and like I did go to work this week and I did go to class, but like taking things off my plate, like I couldn't do YouTube this week. I was so tired. Like, I was just trying to rest and like drink tea, and I think that that's something that like going abroad like taught me, that it's okay to like take care of myself when I'm feeling bad. Because in America, we're just like, work through everything. But it's like, wait, I don't feel good. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be taking care of myself and resting. And like, the fact that that's a thought that I like have to justify with myself, like that is it, that's it right there. Okay, how did you find out about studying abroad, and what was the process like? I'm trying my best for Scotland. So I was thinking about this question yesterday because I've been like reading through them. And honestly, it was college tours, and it was my mom. I remember that we went to go tour this college, and she had like, we went to like this one thing about study abroad, and she was like, oh, you should really consider going to a school where there's a really good study abroad program, because that's something that you should definitely do. So I really owe a lot of this to my mom, because she was the one that was like, you would absolutely love this, like you have to go do this. She is really the one who encouraged me and like fostered a love of travel. Like my freshman year, I went to Iceland for about 10 days, and that was also her. Like, she was the one that was like, you should go do this, like it will be such a cool experience. And I was like a little bit hesitant about it, but I've learned so much about myself from those experiences. And that first trip to Iceland was such a big moment for me in my life. And then I think that that really set me on this trajectory for just like absolutely falling in love with travel and just experiencing new cultures. I just thought it was the coolest thing that it was just, yeah. So, and then honestly, I just went to my school's study abroad office. I had a lot of meetings to kind of figure out like what I wanted to do. There's so many different options nowadays. There are programs that are like outside of your school. There's affiliate versus exchange. And I definitely have talked about this in other Q&As, so definitely go check those out. What's your favorite cartoon? Bob's Burgers. I don't watch it a lot, but yeah, I love Bob's Burgers sometimes. I used to watch that in high school a lot. Like, I just feel like me and Tina are the same. How did you overcome the fear of starting a YouTube channel? I guess I just like got more comfortable with myself, and I had realized that challenges and fear are a part of every single thing that you do. And I knew that starting a YouTube channel was going to be me publicly embarrassing myself for like at least a year. Cause like, let's be honest, I was like, I'm not gonna go viral. Like, this is gonna be a slow process for you, girl. So I sort of like knew I had to commit to that. Especially like YouTube is so saturated nowadays, like you really have to be consistent and like figure it out. I think doing a lot of research before I started, and then not telling anybody for like a month. I filmed my first video and I uploaded it without telling anybody. I think I told my parents I was just like going for a drive, and I went to this parking lot and I filmed a YouTube video and is it still up? I don't even know. It's so bad. It's really, really bad. Also, doing things afraid, that's life, I think. And as the older I've gotten and the more things that I have taken on, I think that everyone's just like afraid of a lot of things, but we just like don't talk about it. And I think a lot of people realize that fear is something that can be conquered if you just go and you do something afraid. And I think that that is really a big hump and a big learning curve, that like once you realize that fear goes away after a little bit, like no matter what it is, things become a lot more manageable. So I think just like jumping in and doing things when you're afraid, I think that's literally the best advice that I've ever gotten. So, okay. This is a long video. You guys asked a lot of good questions. How did you overcome moments of loneliness when you were abroad? Honestly, making really nice friends. I think that when you're abroad, there can be a really big push to make friends with people right away, and like there's all these friend groups that form. I have never really been someone who has been like a friend group person. I don't think I've really had a friend group since high school. I just sort of like have little like pockets of friends. Finding those people that you can just like do nothing with and do like other fun stuff with. Like if I was feeling like maybe a little bad, you know, I would invite a friend up and like we'd watch a documentary together. In a friend, I always look for people that are just like very genuine and kind. And I think that's a really, sometimes kind of hard in college because you're like trying to establish yourself. But like even at the University of Edinburgh, like I had to go to dinner with people. Like there was a dining hall. And so making sure that you have like a nice set of people to like eat dinner with, like that was a really important thing for me, because it was like sort of like a hallmark of my day. Like I would go throughout my day, because going to class and like Zoom stuff, that could be really isolating. So it's good to like go to a cafe or like meet with like small groups or whatever and like make friends online. That's a great way to do it. But then like in your immediate living space, like having people that I could go to dinner with every night was a really nice thing for me. I've said this before, but not settling for people who make you feel lonely, but trying to find people that you really connect with. I think that is like that's just a really important thing for life. And having people that you can be vulnerable with, like if you are with friends and you express that like you're feeling lonely and they're mean to you, oh my goodness, get out of there. Like that is toxic. Find people who maybe understand your scenario, like other international students. Yeah, because I think everybody goes through it, you know, when you move away from home, and being honest about that, like with people, and having like safe spaces with friends is really, really important. The hardest part of living in Edinburgh. I think the hardest part of living in Edinburgh was kind of the difficult social position you're put in as an exchange student. There's something like very liberating and freeing about being an exchange student, because like you're kind of temporary, you can kind of float around. But I think going for a year, kind of difficult, because like you may make a bunch of international student friends the first semester, and then when you come back second semester, like they're all gonna be gone, so you sort of have to like recreate the wheel. So I think knowing like when to maybe invest your time in people who are gonna be there for the year, while obviously not ignoring like friends that you've made who are just there for the semester, because like, I had such a nice time with friends who were just there for the semester. But I think if you are there for a year, there is something like, I don't want to say like strategic, but like you have to sort of like look out for yourself and try to find people that are going to be there the whole year, because it's hard to move to a new country. And if I had just sort of only stayed with the international students who were there for a semester, like I would sort of kind of be out of luck. I think really trying to get ingrained in the student community. I don't know, because it's like it's like a weird thing, because you have to like find people who are there permanently for school, right? Who are open to being your friend. Because like I'm leaving, you know what I mean? Like that's sort of the position you're in. You're like, I am here and I'm asking for a relationship with another person, and like I'm only here for this amount of time. So I think being open to those connections, because it's like a little bit hypocritical for you to like only hang out with people who are gonna be there the whole year. Like I think that that's the wrong way to look at it. However, like finding like a nice balance of people and like branching out there. And when you find those people that are so cool with you being who you are and they're like so happy to be friends with you even though you are leaving, like those kinds of people are so special. And I think that that just like opened me up to like a whole new perspective in life. And I want to do like a whole video about this topic, but I think that that is like such a cool thing that I've taken away is like, I don't know, just like being super okay and being open to people coming in and out of your life. Like it's all good, you know? I don't know. Okay, your favorite place to visit in Scotland or the UK? I don't know, there's like so many different special places. Like I have been sort of all over the UK, but the Highlands and Isle of Skye is probably one of the most special places. There's a whole vlog that I made in the Isle of Skye, and I actually ended up going back with my parents. It is one of the most incredible places that I have ever been. Just like I have such fun memories of like my World Packers experience. Yeah, so we went to the pub like with my friend and the other girl Megan who was staying with us, and we all just like had a drink as the sun was setting. And it's a shot I always put in all of my videos. I'll try and like insert it right here. But like that was just so special. That was Kinloch Leven where I went for the week, and it was so beautiful there. It's just like a little town and you're like surrounded by like the little, you know, like the hills or the, what are they called? But anyway, that's a really special. That also ties into nostalgia. Like I am so nostalgic for that. That was really special. Things you need to know before living in Edinburgh. Honestly, I have like a whole playlist of videos I think are really helpful, and I would leave that up here or there, whatever it is ends up being. But like I have videos about like making friends, and I think that there's like some really solid tips in there because I think that's like probably the thing that like most people are most worried about. That was the thing I was most worried about. Okay, is there anything about America that you appreciate more after your time abroad? Target. I love Target. Like, no, like that's probably my biggest answer. Like, and Trader Joe's. Oh my God, Trader Joe's. Also, I'm in Charleston and we have like so many sunny days. And I've often said this, and I say this in my real life, like I really enjoyed the weather in the UK, which may sound strange to people, but like it really wasn't that rainy in Edinburgh. I like winter, so it was honestly fine, and I like rain, I like rainy days, so it's like kind of perfect for me. But now that I have experienced like so much sunshine again in the winter months, I'm like, you know what? This isn't half bad. I do miss like real winter clothes though, like a big sweater, a nice turtleneck, ooh, lots of jackets, and Target. Cause there's just like, there's not like one store where you can just like get anything that you want. There's like stores you can get stuff, but it's not like Target. Like you can literally get anything you want in Target. I didn't even know until like you're in a Tesco and you're like looking for, I don't even know, something that they would have in Target, but they wouldn't have in a Tesco. I don't know, I feel like that's like the only store I can think of that's like, you know, I don't know, whatever. Did you say you were planning on doing a postgraduate studies? Are you doubling down on the arts management course or branching out into another field? So, we'll see, pretty much, but I am staying in arts management. Yes, yes. It will depend, but most likely I am sticking to arts management because I absolutely love it so much. It is very cool. And now that I'm like back to my studies in arts management back in the US, like, I freaking love it. Like, oh my God, I could keep reading about it forever. Like find yourself a major like that, guys, and school will be cool. Yeah, thanks for bearing with me, and this is like a really chill video. It's just kind of like a chill Q&A, but when you're feeling under the weather, you should definitely take a break, and I am trying to do that. So, trying to set the example, you know what I mean? Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment if you have any other questions, because I'm always doing Q&As every once in a while because I run out of ideas. So, yeah, give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe because I post new videos every Friday, unless I'm sick. So, yeah. That's it. Okay. Bye.